All right, hey guys, this is Josh Shoemaker here again with another bowling ball review. This time we're going to be here with Dan Keenan. He's another local guy, staffer here, so we can give you guys a little bit of a different look. Today we're going to be throwing the Absolute Power. So you guys have all seen my stuff before. I'm going to be a little bit further left, a little bit higher rev rate, and Dan's going to be a little bit straighter and more on top of it. So it's just going to give you guys a little bit of a different look compared to what you're normally seeing in my videos. So as usual, we're going to start a touch on the straighter side and then just kind of keep inching left.
I remember where I stood now.
So we actually haven't seen one of these or a ball similar to this in the Premier line in quite some time. The last ball that kind of reminded me of this was going to be way back to like a Codex with the big, strong asymmetric weight block, a little bit lower RG, and then having kind of that cleaner, solid cover. So go ahead and move one left here. Try to get it going up the lane a little bit more. Yeah. A little bit forward with that one. Let's see. Just have to re-rack it up here. So for me personally, I was not a huge fan of the original Absolute. I didn't really match up with the Code Black back when that came out. I did like the Code Red, but it had a little bit stronger of a cover on it. So it wasn't a huge surprise that I wasn't a big fan of that one, but so far I'm matching up to this a little bit better than the original.
Not bad for bad timing, huh?
So Dan, what are you kind of seeing out of this, your initial impressions after throwing it for a little bit now?
So initial impressions are, for me, it's definitely a little bit cleaner, but it does start up sooner than the original Absolute for sure. Definitely more angular off the spot. But even though it's more angular, I do find it slows down. You know, it makes a good sharp move, but then it slows down. It doesn't necessarily keep going left. It actually wants to go forward at the right time. Okay. So, you know, I see this being a ball when the head starts to open up and I can move a little left and go around the 3-6. It's definitely going to be a ball that's in play when there's some friction to the right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing the same thing for me. It's definitely going to scoot through the front part of the lane a little bit easier than something like a Reality or even a Summit for me. And then with having such a strong weight block, it's still going to want to blend that lane front to back pretty good. So I'm going to move another one left here and just try to add a little bit more axis rotation than I did last time. Woo. Better shot direction and fell off that one. But as you can see, for me, this definitely responds to hand position changes pretty decent as well. It's one of those balls where it's kind of going to go where your hand directs you to, and that's kind of what I see out of the Summit too, which is why I end up throwing that a lot.
All right, I'm trying to keep my feet under me here now. Another 2 left. So that was about 2 and 2 left. So got it in the oil more, and it definitely is a little slower coming out of the oil, but it still keeps that nice sharp angle to keep the pins low and blow the left side of the rack. So definitely liking what I'm seeing.
Awesome. So we're actually right now we're testing out one of the new house shots here that they just put out. It sounded like they're making them have a little bit more hang out to the right. The issue that I've seen lately, if there is any at all here, is when you start the ball, getting the ball going to the right a little bit too quick, it seems to come off that friction a little bit too fast. Whereas you guys could see the first shot that I threw, I got it out right quick and it kind of blended off of it a little bit better than it did before. So I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing. So go ahead and sheet another one left. Just try to post this one a little bit better than the last one. There you go. Again, like we just said, it seems like this shot now is blending out a little bit better to the right, especially with that one adding some more axis rotation there as I kind of inch left. The ball seems to be responding to it pretty well.
Yeah, and as you can see there, that's what we're talking about with the ball is, you know, if it hits the friction, yes, it makes a move, but it doesn't overreact off of it. It really does blend pretty nicely. So I'm going to try to do the same thing. I'm just going to try to stand where I just did. Just open the angle a little bit.
So far, that last one, like you get it right a little bit quicker and it kind of blends off of it as opposed to before it just kind of seemed to want to go left instantly. There you go. So I'll go ahead and cheat this one a little bit more left, slow it down a little bit more, and then I'll probably get into a couple of the other comparison balls that you see so you guys can kind of see what this is going to compare to in the current line. So go ahead and move another one here. There you go.
That's a good shot.
Yeah. It definitely blends off of it right, which I feel like before, if you get it going like right that quick, like it had no shot. All right.
Got that one definitely further down the lane.
Yeah, for sure. So as right now, we're obviously bowling on a fresh house shot. For me, I would probably look at this more as like a 2-ball for me here. I've had a lot of success here throwing like realities with a little bit of service, some stronger balls with almost more lane shine too, because it just blends them a little bit better. And then game 2, when you start getting left into more into the cliff, I would definitely hop into a ball like this. So here, we go back to where I started. This was the phase 2. So I definitely see this as being a little bit cleaner and quicker down lane than the absolute power. So you can see that definitely floated through it a little bit easier and was kind of a little bit smoother off of it, didn't change direction quite as quick. Just not having the extra torque and the asymmetry that the absolute power has. You're going to see that stand line a little bit longer.
All right, I'm going to try to go to the original absolute here just to show the difference. So the absolute power is laid out by 5x4x3, so pretty standard layout for me on my first drills. Pretty stable. The original absolute's probably just a little bit weaker of a layout. So I'm just going to go back probably about 3 and see what it does. So as you can see, the original is definitely a little bit slower, a little more forward. Obviously, that's the pearl in it. So the power definitely stronger cover, more responsive, much quicker. So from what I've seen so far, a very good complement to each other.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hop a couple left here, add a little bit more rotation. You should probably see this one. It's probably going to look a little bit better from left. The Absolute Power didn't look bad from left, but with this having a little bit smaller of a core and probably fairly similar cover strength-wise, probably going to see a little bit more shape out of this than the Absolute Power. All right, so got that one going up the lane a little bit more than I wanted, but having the smaller core, a little bit weaker of a layout, it's not really going to blend the lane front to back as well as that Absolute, whereas if I got that Absolute in the same spot, it was probably going to slow down a little bit quicker and blend off of it a little bit better.
I'm going to do one more shot with the original. See if I can just open up the angles a little bit, let it see the friction a little bit more. There we go. So yeah, definitely a good 3 boards less on that original Absolute versus the Power. You know, I'd probably say a good 5 and 2 with the Power to get that same reaction.
So another similar-ish ball that I kind of was thinking of when I first drilled this too was back to like an Alpha Crux. Alpha Crux for me was one of those unique asymmetric balls where it kind of shaped a decent amount, didn't have a crazy strong cover. At the time it was pretty strong. But really the next closest thing to it was going to be like a Reality. Reality is definitely a step up. I feel as though this Alpha Crux should probably be a little bit closer in terms of reaction. I ended up just fixing it up this week, so I might as well just throw it for a couple of shots just for the nostalgia's sake. So I'll go ahead and go right back to where we started here. It's definitely going to be a little bit slower front to back, though, than that Absolute Power is.
Woo! Slower and earlier.
I was going to say, yeah, slower and sees it way quicker. Oh, if you want to get one more shot in with the
yeah, I'll throw one more
there.
Yeah, I'll throw one more with the Power, going a little further left and see what we can end on here. So I'm gonna go 5 and 2 off the previous shot with the original. There
you go.
Responded a little bit better in there than I thought.
Yeah. So definitely, I see myself throwing this ball a decent amount in league. I could see it as being kind of a 2-3 ball in my tournament bag if I need something that's still going to blend the lane front to back before I get, or front to back a little bit more before I get into some of my smaller core symmetrical balls or any of the cleaner pearl stuff as well. Just for reference too, my Absolute Power is laid out pretty similar to Dan's. It's about a 5x4x3 as well. So yeah, if you guys are interested, we're definitely going to probably be shooting some more review videos like this, give you guys a couple of different styles. There's also another local staffer as well. She's a little bit straighter, so we could definitely get her in a couple videos too. And if you guys are interested in getting your own Absolute Power, be sure to head into your local Storm VIP Pro Shop and get your own today.